inside ourselves. The hermit within, the listening of that voice inside ourselves, which is saying, you can guide yourself. You don't need to rob in front of anyone else. The knowledge. The knowledge is hidden within you, it can be unlocked. And of course, we also meet people to guide us. We meet many hermits in our lives, and the true teacher is the one to walk alongside us and help us on our own path. They don't force us onto their path. They say, well, this is what I've learned on my path. And you might find it useful on your path. To the next one. Wheel of Fortune. Once you have gained that wisdom from the hermit, that you're on your own path, you become in control of your own destiny. There is no fate, except the fate you make. And in the Wheel of Fortune are symbols for the four elements. Above is the Sphinx. Again, there it is. You were here earlier in the chariot. Where's the chariot? It's driven off again. Okay. There's the Sphinx again. It's both human and animal, and it's on top. It's that ability to balance. If you want balance in your life, you're on top of fate, the wheel of fate. But if you lose control, there you go, you slip down. Who looks like the devil? You give in to those desires. Other symbols there like the snake, but the snake's also the snake of knowledge. In fact, you learn from your mistakes. You go round in a cycle, and you have a choice. If you learn, you stay on top. If you don't learn from the things that come to you, you'll go around and come back and you'll have to learn them again. And you'll repeat the cycle, going round and round, until you finally work out, what the hell am I doing? And that's when you come back on top. That's the fool's journey to the Wheel of Fortune, the fool's realization that he's in control of his own fate. Everything he's learned. Next one. Justice. Well, we're in control of our own fate, but there is karma, there is balance in the universe, and the mistakes we have made up to this point, we have to pay for. There is justice in the universe. The sword of law, and the sword has two sides. Severity and mercy. And there is the balance of the scales. So once we are in control of our own fate, and we realise that, we know we have to pay for what we've done. And we may have to make amends. It's interesting when people go through initiatory experience, I mean a real initiatory experience, they go round afterwards and they say, I'm sorry to people. They realise what they have done. They're in charge of their own fate. When they go through that spiritual epiphany, they go around saying, I am terribly sorry for what you did to me. I was in charge of my own fate, and you took that karma on for me. Next one. How am I doing? Hanged man. If I ever hear anybody call this Odin on the world tree, I'm going to kill them. Odin did not hang upside down, but it's a common symbol. The sacrificing of the old self. The realisation you must let go of those things in yourself which do not serve a purpose, which you are hanging on to purely for the purpose of comfort. Strangely enough, at this point the fool steps off the cliff. I'm going to trust in justice. I'm in control of my own fate. I know when I step off the cliff, my foot will land on a stepping stone. But I must give away those things. I must give up my fear. I must give up my power. give up my thoughts, to move on, to develop and grow. I will sacrifice myself to myself. Next. Big fear. I heard me say this last night. Freud said everything was about sex. Jung said, no, it's all about death. The principal fear in all of us, death. And when the hanged man hangs from the tree, when the fool walks off the cliff, will I live or will I die? I am challenging death. Ring, ring.
Ring, ring. Ring, ring.
Ding. Hi, this is the fool. I'm not here at the moment. If you get to leave a message, I will get back to you towards the end of my life. Anyway.
I'm changing my
Death is the great equalizer. If you look, there are kings, there are paupers. Death comes to everyone. It is the one certainty. Well, two, death and taxes.
Yeah.
I love that film. And there he is, death. And actually, if you look at the rose really carefully, it's actually inverted pentagram, the four elements over spirit. In the end, you will revert to the four elements and end up in the ground. Okay, death comes to all. It came to the Pope. There's the Pope. It came to the king. It came to the pauper.
It came to the child.
It came to the child. It comes to all. And we all have to face our own mortality. Because if we don't, we won't live life to the full. Because if we think we're going to live forever, we will just plod on. But if we know one day we're going to die, we will burn bright. If you've ever met somebody who has come close to death, who has died on the operating table, who has been in a car accident, who got through cancer and came out the other side, trust me, afterwards, they burned bright. They said, I'm not wasting a day of my life. They streak through life like a bullet. So we all have to face death. It's the card of rebirth, because when we face our own mortality, we are reborn. Next one. But we can burn too bright. So there has to be a balance. There is the angel. There is fire. There is water. The balance of fire and water must be maintained. Okay? So this is also the card of hope. After death there is hope. It's the realisation at the time of challenging death. There is hope. There are the lilies. Lilies associated with death. Two chalices, that balancing within. After that experience, going, okay, I'm going to burn bright, but what have I learned? What can I pass on? What can I teach? I'm not going to be all about me, 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 me. There will be balance in my life. I want to pass on my experience and help others. And the amount of times people who have died afterwards want to pass on their experiences. They become spiritual people and they want to pass that knowledge on. And they want to give, they've had hope, they want to pass that hope on. Little. Oh, the devil. There's the devil. You know, if you look really carefully, these two figures, they're chained to the devil because they want to be there. The chains are loose around their necks, they can take it off and walk away. But they're happy in the quagmire. We all have to face the devil, because the devil is within. Because, if you look traditionally at anybody who has decided to follow the spiritual path, the demons come out. Look at Christianity with the traditional prophets of Judaism and Christianity. Christ in the wilderness. Christ is in the wilderness. by the devil. The more spiritual path you take, the more you deal with the devil within. You'll be charging a bit more for those workshops, Gavin. You could set yourself up on a throne. You could go on a messianic kick, Gavin. You know? You could go and
Gavin and feed them, shouldn't they?
you
Believe it,
could write really crappy books, get involved in the New Age, and now be living in a big house somewhere in Northern California. Like rolling in the money. But no, Gavin's stupid. He wants to get So, here is the devil, guys, that temptation to keep on the spiritual path. He's there. On the shoulder all the time. You can control that person's life. They'll believe anything you tell them. You just have to tell them. Take it for granted you're right. On the devil comes. So the fool has met the devil. And hopefully he's realised when everything crashes and burns that he can rebuild. Because the tower is about rebuilding. The realisation, however bad something is an opportunity. The Maison de Dieu, the house of God. There they are. Oh look, there's the king falling out. There's a merchant falling out. Sometimes they show the Pope falling out, which is my favourite part. I live in Ireland, what can I say? It's the fool's realisation that nothing is really that bad. In fact, everything, even the disasters in your life, are an opportunity to learn and rebuild. As I was saying to somebody today, you know, everything is an opportunity, as bad as it may seem. It was a learning experience. And this is what the fool has learned from the past. Okay? He's learned from all those experiences before that everything is a learning opportunity. Even the negative experiences aren't really negative experiences, they're just learning experiences. And it's how you take them. If you want them to be negative, they'll be negative. If you want them to be positive, they will be positive. It's what you take from it. This is what the fool has learned with the tower as well. The tower is destroyed, but wonderful. I'll build a garden, because I didn't like that tower anyway. It was grey and dreary and a bit damp inside. So now I'll build a garden. And a tree house. And I'll invite all my friends round for tea. Okay.
It's a nice rock garden.
Next one. How about you? Hope rears its head again through temperance. The destruction of the tower, because that's what that's about. There we go, everything collapses. There's hope from it, and again
And a sense of freedom.
Yee-hee! The house is gone. I don't have to pay the mortgage anymore. There is the star of hope, and he's inspired to plant in the garden. Inspiration, new ideas, because the tower is about destruction of the old inside, just like death. It's getting rid of those old things and realising sometimes things have to go. Whether you like it or not, that will happen. Hope is, you know, there's a good side to everything. There it is. Next one. Gate of Moon. That realisation of the tower, the devil, death, particularly, just those cards which appear so negative. The realisation that the devil is within, that fear of death within, that realisation comes after the star. That realisation that, you know, if it doesn't kill you, it only makes you stronger. You have the moon and the gate of moon. Two gates, pathway, air coming out the water. It's actually, it's put here as a lobster, but it's as much a scorpion. A pathway between two dogs baying at the moon and the guardians to the gate, the unconscious mind, and the realization that you have to explore the unconscious mind. You have to listen sometimes to what it tells you. But be careful not to embrace the shadow. And I hear that again and again. That has become fashionable amongst men. You must embrace your shadow. Have you heard that? Anyone?
Yes.
Yeah, fine, great idea. Let's all become Hannibal Lecter. Or Jeffrey Dahmer. And you challenge the shadow. Hello, Mr. Devil. You challenge the shadow. You look it in the eye and go, you're nothing. I'm in control. You look at the shadow, you understand the shadow. You do not embrace the shadow. Face it. The moon is about facing that unconscious. And when you face that, you begin to realise there is something bright in the shadow, the moon itself, hidden, buried in the unconscious mind. Because that's what the high priestess is. That is the moon. That buried side of yourself. Or if you're a woman, of course, it's the magician. Buried in there, deep, all those things you possess which are positive that you can pull from. Next one. From that comes contentment. Balancing has occurred within. There is that voice, you know, listen to. Because the moon, of course, is the psychic. And there's the realisation of freedom in life, and there is the child and the white horse of innocence. It's the fool, grown up, or rather, evolved and devolved. It's the child. The sun is beaming down, he is happy, no cares in the world, because he knows everything will work out in the universe the way it should. He just has to get on the back of the horse, and the horse will take him where he wants to go. Because, of course, there is the horse of death. He's not scared of death anymore. He's riding its horse.
Challenge death.
He challenged death. Next one. Judgment. That's very much the Christian concept of judgment, that at the end of time we're all going to come out of our graves, the big angel's going to be blowing his trumpet, and we're all going to rise up together. Judgment is as much about death, what happens when we die. We are held accountable through our lives for our actions. And when we die, we have to face that. And it's not that any power as such is saying that. Saying, you're now accountable for your actions. We are accountable to law, the universal laws. There is the High Priestess, and there is that law scroll, Torah. Torah means law. The word tarot derives from that. So when we die, we face ourselves. There is nobody in judgment. There is no great God in judgment. There are no gods in judgment over us. We judge ourselves. Our soul looks at our personality and says, what have you learned? What mistakes did you make? Did you bring balance to the universe or imbalance? That is universal judgment. And of course, it finishes with a world and that cycle again. That completion of our lives. There it is.
And that figure, the reason it's relevant is it's contrasexual. It's both masculine and feminine.
Finish with the world. This is about really the world. Judgment is about after death. We have completed that cycle. That is a figure is both masculine and feminine. Because our soul is neither. It is both. So we return to that state, that spiritual state, the wreath of triumph, completion, the winning of the battle of life. 4 elements in balance again here, which is what these represent. Now there are 2 wands in balance, 2 forces. That is the completion of the journey forward. To return back, the horse back to that state, because it's a cycle.
So I hope, guys, you enjoyed that lecture.
Oh, yes.
Oh, Gavin, what did you do?
It went back like 4 feet.
Something went wrong.
We heard. Hit your butt. Awesome.
So was that fun?
Yes.
Very fun. It's nice to do it this way. You can have a laugh, and then Gavin takes you through the whole psychology of it.
The first time we ever did this was with our Italian study group. And in Italy it's rather interesting. Italy's a very macho culture. So we've only got 1 heterosexual male, all the rest of the guys in the study group are gay.
Oh.
So we had this Alessandro was an absolute right in the screen. Most of them are involved in the fashion industry in Milan, one form or another. So he played the ball in it. And first time we did it, we didn't know what direction it was going. And it was Alessandro who was a gay guy, who did this whole thing. It developed from that. So, but he was wonderful. Italians are so expressive.
No.
Oh,
No,
So
what
we
gives
had
you
this-
that idea? What gives you that idea?
especially as we didn't understand a single word they were saying.
Oh my God! It would be all in Italian.
Oh my God.
So we had the devil, William and Italian guys, the devil. It was just absolute fire.
He's got Alexander bent over his lap, he's kissing him passionately and touching his balls. Wow.
We're going to Milan.
It was hysterical.
I think we're going there.
Oh, and then one got behind the other and started humping the other one. We just
We were pretty tame.
Yeah, I would say so. It didn't go that far.
And when he reaches the stage of death, he stands up and goes, ugh, bang, slap on his back. And everyone, is he all right?
There isn't enough room
He's
here.
like perfectly like
It
that.
probably would have happened here, but there's not enough room here.
So the major cards, if we think they're just a divination, but they are it's the mysteries going around. Starting with 0, going to 21.
But sometimes it is a good way to teach people through humor. Because we don't laugh
Remember
enough. We take it all too seriously. And you can use that kind of, if you like, game playing to teach anyone anything. I have a favourite when I do with the tarot. I take out the major arcana. I lay them down, do a Celtic cross, and then I say, right, I want you to tell me all about this person. And I will write the name on a piece of paper. We did that. And we had one, and I wasn't okay, it's definitely a man, yes it was. He's high powered, he's high ranking, yes he is. Probably he's going to have a lot on his shoulders, etc. And I'm sort of going, this is cool, this is absolutely spot on. And then who was it who said, it's Obama. And it was. And sometimes you do with someone who's dead, that is well known, like Shakespeare. Or Queen Elizabeth I. And everyone around us went, it's a queen. And they were going about, it's got to be a queen, here is a woman in control, very knowledgeable, blah 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 blah. And this girl was a hands up choice as Queen Elizabeth.
You just use the major arcana and then
Yeah, it's so simple. But you can lock them. You get them to do it about yourself. And you put a mental barrier down, and they can't do it. They'll just come up with it. They'll get every other one, put them up. What shoes? I would be amazed. And we had great fun doing that. And you play games with the cards. You literally play games with them. And it's great fun. It's a great way of learning the tarot. I always say the best way to learn the tarot is the same way you learn to tell the time. Can you remember the exact day you learned to tell the time? Of course you can. You learn by experience. You learn by fun. The same way you learn in school. And it's the same thing with any form of divination. If you make it serious, you don't learn. You've got to literally play around and act your foot. Which is why it's called
Unless you have questions.
Oh, that's all. Did people want to eat? Yes. Awesome. Thank you.